Joining me today is Ben Henneke, CEO of TIST, and Kevin Martner, professor of New England College. So I want to continue our conversation, and I really want to kind of get into the different things that the students saw. They got to meet with the farmers in Kenya, and they got to join sort of these collective group meetings, but they also got to visit schools, and so what do you think are some of the most powerful things that they saw and hearing with conversations with the people, Kevin?
I think one of the things that comes up the most as I talk to the students now a few weeks out from the trip was the incredible generosity of the Kenyans that they were able to work with. The fact that one group was told, hey, if I'd known earlier that you were coming, I would have prepared a chicken for you. And they thought that was great and wonderful. And then they learned that that family maybe eats one chicken a year. And the fact that they would be willing to give it to their guests was incredible. Or everywhere we went, we were met with open arms. Students were dancing with the villagers. We would walk away with bags full of produce. And as we would come back to the center where we were staying, the table was quickly covered with sugar cane and avocados and macadamia nuts and mangoes. And so that generosity really impacted the students. I think a number of students were able to visit local schools, and they really got a sense of what it's like to be a celebrity. And they would walk up to the schools, and especially these primary school kids, climbing up on the fence and reaching out to high-five them. And then they could go into the classroom, and they could sit in the desks with the students and begin to really connect and be this wonderful presence for those schools.
And I guess that's part of your strategy too, right? The working with not just one group in a particular country, but the farmers, but just how they plant so many trees.
Well, they plant so many trees because they catch on that it's beneficial on their own farm. But they also know it's important for the country, and part of what TIST does is make them aware that it's important for the world. That the climate change problem is not just our emissions going up and up, but it's also that we've cut back the Earth's ability to absorb the carbon. So these people who are planting the trees, replanting on very devastated areas, are helping absorb pollution that the rest of us are putting out. Well, feeling that connection, when you are a subsistence farmer very far from any roads or anything like that, to know that you are important and connected to the rest of the world is a very powerful experience.
The trees are very important, and even the energy, not energy, even the oxygen that we require, it comes from the trees. The fresh energy comes from the trees. So this is very important to a human being.
We want to grow more carbon for you and make our world a better place to live.
That then transfers to the schools. Their children are talking about what they're doing at home. They're going there and working with the schools, helping. And then that goes from that to the governments. It's interesting. It's a truly bottom-up situation.
So as we talk about like going to the schools and sort of connecting from the bottom up, what have you seen in terms of just these average farmers and how that information has been diffused?
Oh, all we really do is follow behind them, John, to keep track of their results. And what was driving us crazy, still does, is that this person would get excited, their neighbors would join, they'd get excited, they get results, and all of a sudden somebody's cousin 50 miles away had joined, and we were going, wait a minute, we don't have anybody out there to measure your results. We don't have any place for you to meet for training, for receiving the monthly magazine. And yet they'd signed on. They got to a photocopy machine, and all of a sudden we had members in places we had no idea we had members. So the whole program is voluntary. It only spreads by word of mouth. And so the results where you see it growing and growing and growing is because people are saying, this is important for me and it's important for the world.
And one piece I want to get in, we're probably close to out of time in this segment, but I do want to talk about it, is how much a little compensation changes their life. I mean, because they're talking 1.5 Kenyan shillings, which is about a cent or
2 cents.
2 cents.
Yeah.
And how much that per tree, how much a difference that makes.
Yeah.
But right now,